sides.
So let's do a test.
There they are.
We can hear you.
Can you hear
Perfect.
us? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Start again.
Okay,
Take three.
Take three, yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mary Dillon, and I am president of the board of Buffalo Prenatal Perinatal Network. I want to welcome all of you to our open house. Our partners, funders, legislators, and also other members of the board of Buffalo Prenatal. I really want to thank you for your time to become better informed regarding some of our programs. We have some presentations on some of our programs in a few minutes, and Buffalo Prenatal does such incredible work within our community, and our funding is essential to the great work that everyone does and the commitment that everyone has to this organization. So let's begin with some introductions. Luann.
Hi, I'm Luann Brown. I'm the CEO at Buffalo Prenatal Perinatal Network. I want to welcome, just echo what Mary said, and thank you all for joining us today. We're, in our virtual world, so this is the way we do things now. The mission of Buffalo Prenatal, which we're going to put up here for you. So we have an overall mission to collaborate and coordinate with key stakeholders in Erie County to improve maternal and infant health outcomes for high-need women and families who reside in targeted high-risk areas of Erie County. We were actually started in 1987. We're one of, I believe, 14 now comprehensive networks in New York. The Community Health Worker Program actually began in 1993 with 50 clients, and Healthy Families began in 1995 with 34 clients. This is our value proposition. I just want to highlight a couple things, especially that first box, which shows the impact. We serve 1,000 families a year, and you can see that 30,000 home visits. I think the things we're the most proud of are our health outcomes, that we get people to their prenatal visits, which has a huge impact on low birth weight infants. Every time we get a mom to full term, that saves a day in the intensive care nursery. But we also do things with breastfeeding, which is so healthy for our babies. Up-to-date immunizations, we do lead screening, and not only postpartum visits, but well baby visits. You will see the impact in the second box. Well, we've estimated that we cut our low birth weight rates in half, which means that we probably save about $700,000 to this community because of the reduction in NICU stays.
Excuse me, Luann. This is Xiaozong. Is that possible for you to share the slides like a screen? Because it's harder for us to see the things on your slides.
What do they want to do?
He wants you to share the slides later.
Oh, well, yeah, we will share the slides later. We'll definitely send them out, okay?
Oh yeah, because right now it's harder for us to see anything on the screen, to be honest.
They can't, oh.
Is there a way to share the screen, like of your?
No, we can't. It's on a different laptop. I'm sorry. So we'll have to send them out later.
Oh, okay.
I apologize. Can this go down, Denise? Okay. All right. So obviously our sources of income, like many nonprofits, 96% of our funds come from state and county grants, 2% from foundation grants, and 2% from individual contributions. Our major funders are the New York State Department of Health, the Office of Children and Family Services, United Way, Millennium Collaborative Care. We also have funding from Oshai Foundation, First Niagara, Mother Cabrini Foundation. Those are all new foundations we have. And our proceeds from Great Baby Beginnings, which is our big fundraisers. Our current budget is about $3.2 million. Just change to this sponsor shade. You can skip this one. Okay. These are our major sponsors, which we want to acknowledge. This year, our fundraiser, even though it was virtual, it looks like we raised over $41,000, and we're thankful for all our corporate sponsors here, which we couldn't have done the event without. Our strategic plan generally is obviously to establish and maintain relevancy by showing value to our stakeholders, that we move our culture from measuring individual success to valuing collaboration, that we identify and prioritize organizational needs, and we want to be the leader as far as focus areas that people come to for the population we serve. We can skip the next slides. And these are just, I'm just going to go through just so you see what we do here. Some of our pictures from some of our programs. This is one of our big sponsors, Senator Kennedy, who's a big supporter of ours. These are some of our graduates at our Buffalo Home Visiting Graduate Program. We do this every year. This is our scrapbooking group out of Healthy Families that we do for our moms. It's a great stress reducer. As I mentioned, we're big breastfeeding proponents, and we have breastfeeding support groups in both programs. This is actually COVID time. Even though the staff was working remotely, they were interacting with their clients. We partnered with Queen City Couriers who helped deliver food to our clients. These are some of our babies that were born during COVID. This is one of our moms that a lot of what we do for our homeless moms is we actually find places for them to stay. This is us setting up a new mom and her pregnant mom and her new child in their apartment. Housing is a huge issue for our clients. Even though Easter was during COVID, the Healthy Families staff delivered Easter bags to the families. I think we had 800 or 1,800 Easter eggs. 1,200. And this is our Nurturing Fathers program. Some of our graduates, our newest program, which is really having an impact. Okay. Okay. Whitney, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. So Anne Marie is Whitney? She's not on my agenda. Is she next now? Yeah. Okay. Whitney, you're up. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. This virtual thing is always a treat, isn't it? Really good to be with you and see so many faces of support. I'm Whitney Mendel. I'm an assistant professor at Damon College in the Masters of Public Health program. I've also been on the board at Buffalo Prenatal for 6 years. I believe now 3 of which I've been the program chair for the board, which means I get to, along with the committee, meet with the program managers for those 3 programs that Luann just talked to you about, Mitch, home visiting, and the nurturing fatherhood programs, regularly throughout the year, and really get to hear the ins and outs of all the ways that these programs walk alongside families in our community. They all lead with witnessing and honoring the strengths of the families in our communities, honor the capacity of the families in our communities, and really work to collaboratively help those families with what it is they need. Essentially, really working to nurture and nourish the families so they can continue to nurture and nourish their own families with the support needed. Lots of connecting pieces, referrals, working with these partnerships that Luann just mentioned, working across programs to make sure that there are supports coming from every angle, especially in responses to the needs that are directly highlighted by these individuals. It's humbling, admittedly, to be witness to the incredible work that these teams do on a day in and day out basis. It's not a job for most of the folks who are in this organization. It's a passion, it's a dedication, and a number of the staff are actually of and from the very communities that they're serving, which I think is also a testament to the commitment to the communities, but also the heart behind the work of this organization. We also get to hear an awful lot about the challenges that these families and therefore the staff are faced with, including, as Luann mentioned, housing, which is a very big piece. It's hard to function in the world if you don't have a safe and comfortable place to rest your head, or for your children to do the same. So housing is constantly an issue, as are the consequences of circumstances of poverty. So, safety in neighborhoods, resources readily available, transportation, all the things that we're kind of familiar with hearing about. All the while that these programs are still, as Luann pointed out, looking to sustain funding and bring in new funding sources to maintain this kind of work that is so important. So we also get to do some of the fun stuff. We're part of some of these efforts to help bring some joy and bring community together. We also get to help wherever needed as a board in terms of helping with grants, partnering with a lot of the universities and colleges locally, bringing in our networks to see where we can lean in. I kind of envision the program committee and the board much like a series of backup dancers to these incredible frontline workers who are doing this work, trying to lean in where we can to add support and connect and help make their jobs easier in supporting these folks. So thanks for being with us. It's a great organization and the work they do is so needed. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Whitney. Appreciate you every day. I'm going to introduce Anne-Marie Correo, who is the program manager for the home visiting program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us this morning. As Luann said, I'm Anne-Marie Correa. I'm the program manager for the Buffalo Prenatal Perinatal Network's Healthy Families New York program, Healthy Families Buffalo, which is also known as Buffalo Home Visiting Program. We started out with that title before we changed it over. Next slide. So Healthy Families Buffalo's target population is anyone currently pregnant or parenting a child from birth to 3 months of age residing in the Buffalo area. So we have 21 zip code areas that we cover, and that is mostly it's all of the east side, all of the west side, all of Riverside, and Black Rock. We are a little bit into North Buffalo. We are all of South Buffalo. We're in Lackawanna. We are also in parts of Tonawanda and Cheektowaga. Those are our close suburbs. And we really try not to say no. If there's a family in need that's maybe a little bit out of the target area, if we can make it happen, we will. Program demographics. So we have currently 420, better move over here a little bit, 420 participant families. We currently are serving 378 participant families. So we have a capacity for 420. We currently have 378 active families. And actually, I think that number is a little higher because we had just brought in some families over the last few weeks, and I had created this about a month ago. The breakdown of our race and ethnicity are as follows. 58% are African American families that we serve, 25% are Hispanic, 21% Caucasian, 1% Asian, 1% Native American, and 4% are multiracial, 3% have checked other. The age of our primary caregiver at enrollment are as follows. 10% are under the 18 years of age, 12% are 18 years of age to 20 years of age, 52% are 20 to 30 years of age, and 26% are 30 and over. So we have a very wide range of families of various ages. There is no age limit for us. We have served very young. I think the youngest we've ever served is around 13, I think. And the oldest had been way into their 40s, I think past 45. Our educational levels are usually 40% less than 12 years of education, 32% high school degrees, and 28% post-secondary. Next slide. Employment of our participants are usually 45% of at least one person. That's the primary caretaker one, who's usually the mom. OBP is other biological parent, or PC2, so that could be a significant other in the home, or grandparents. They're employed at enrollment. 36% are receiving TANF at enrollment, 68% food stamps, 78% WIC, 87% of our primary caretakers are on Medicaid, 89% of our target children, that is the child that we work with, so the parent is expecting a child when we begin services, and we call that child the target child, and so 89% of them are on Medicaid. So you can go ahead to the next one. Healthy Families Buffalo is an evidence-based voluntary home visiting model designed to provide services to families that begin prenatally or at birth through age 5. Healthy Families Buffalo uses an infant mental health relational development approach that promotes parent-child attachment to achieve its mission of preventing child abuse, neglect, and other adverse childhood outcomes. So we're all about supporting a family, preventing, because the higher the stress level of a family, the more likely they are to be unsuccessful as parents. Sometimes that leads to child abuse, sometimes that leads to neglect. We're all about supporting the family and supporting the family as a whole. Next slide. Got it? Next slide. Got it. Thank you. We currently employ 21 family support specialists. Our family support specialists are, their job is to go out into the home. Once a family has been assessed, they are to go into the home, and they provide services to families such as education on child development and positive parenting. They are to support the parent-child bond. They help address any barriers a family might have to being successful in parenting. They also provide case management services because most of our families have high risks and needs that need to be addressed, and they will do that as well. We currently employ 2 family resource specialists. Family resource specialists are those who provide assessment to our families. So at first we are receiving, through outreach, we receive referrals, and we call them screens. We screen a family, and then the family resource specialist is tasked with the job of going out to the homes and talking to families. We do something called a parent survey, and it's a snapshot of what's going on in the family from childhood up until what's going on with them right then and there. So we get some childhood history, because childhood history is very important when you're talking about successful parenting. What type of experiences did they have as children? And then we're looking at what the families are experiencing currently. So sometimes they're dealing with a mental health issue. They might have substance abuse issues. They might have insecure housing. They could be homeless. They could. Most of our families are not, but we do sometimes deal with homeless families. You'll see more of that in the Mitch program later. And we're just looking at this, what's going on with the family currently, and what things can we address with that family to help get them to a point where they're feeling secure. We also have 5 supervisors, 4 of which supervise the family support specialists, and 1 that supervises the family resource specialist. So our staff have supervisors. There's a team of 1 supervisor to 5 staff, and they are there to support a family. So we believe in what we call the parallel process. So we have to support our staff and prevent burnout so that our staff can support and nurture their families, and so that the families can then support and nurture their children. We also employ an outreach specialist. This is a newer position. She is tasked with actually going out into the community. It is a lot of work for us to bring in referrals and to search out families who might be eligible for our program. So our resource specialist helps in that. Thank you. Next one. We receive referrals from several sources throughout the community, the birthing hospitals, clinics. We receive referrals through community-based organizations. We try to seek out new referral sources as we can. Our CEO, Luann, has done a very good job at assisting us in this. She basically books us for all kinds of presentations. We love that so much. Thank you, Luann. Next slide. Oh, you lost it. Next one. Okay. Thank you. Our community partners: Oshai Women's and Children's Hospital, Sisters Hospital, Mercy Comprehensive, Kaleida Health, Catholic Health, United Way, Community Foundation, and as I said, a list of many community-based organizations. We really try and touch any type of entity that works with families and individuals in our community, because we are tasked with doing something that we call universal screening. In a perfect world, we would screen and have all of the families, anyone who is expecting a child or parenting, they would come through our agency and we would screen them and then look to see if we could provide services. But we just don't have those types of resources, so we do rely heavily on our community. Next.
Thank you, Amy. Oh, you're done?
I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done. Sorry.
I'm still talking. Sorry.
Shocking.
New partnerships. I'll go faster.
No, you're
Well connected.
fine.
Erie County Department of Social Services, Nurse Family Partnership, CCNY High Fidelity. Wrap it up. Keep going. Oh, CCNY High Fidelity. CCNY High Fidelity Wraparound Network. Sorry. Okay, no. Healthy Families Buffalo uses strategies that are relationship-based, culturally sensitive, family-centered, strength-based. We build on parental competencies, and we are grounded in the parallel process, as I mentioned before. The program's home visitors develop healthy relationships with families and partner with parents to support them in responding in a sensitive and in a nurturing manner to their young children. Healthy Families Buffalo offers comprehensive support services designed to promote positive parent-child interaction, healthy child development, healthy relationships, family self-sufficiency, and connections to community resources when needed. Okay. So the goals of the program, and I've mentioned some of this already, is to support the positive parent-child bonding and relationships. How do we do that? We do that through our home visits. Our staff become a support system to their families. We try to address any needs that the families may have to remove any barriers. We do something called a family goal plan, which is updated every 6 months, choosing small goals, small steps for families to achieve. We address the needs of anyone in the household because the people in the household, everyone in that household touches the child, the life of the child and influences that life of the child. So we do a lot of that, looking at the family as a whole, the family system, and trying to, as best we can, be supportive to every member of the family. We promote optimal child and family health development and safety. So how do we do that? We make sure that our families are linked up to healthcare providers so that the child has a pediatrician, mom has a OBGYN, dad has a primary care provider. We link them up to any services that are regarding health. We do something called ages and stages questionnaires at various stages of the child's life to try and catch any developmental delays early so that we can be on top of that and refer them out to an early childhood intervention program. We enhance family self-sufficiency. How do we do that? We do that through, we help with budgeting, we help with resume building, we help to try and get families and participants into job training programs, furthering their education. We really support, a lot of our teen parents. We support them, finishing high school. We encourage them to go on to college. We've had some of those success stories where a family, we've had a very young participant who, one who had visited us not too long ago, and she actually had, at the time, she was considering dropping out of school. She was pregnant, and she currently had just finished her master's degree. So we have those types of successes here. It's not always that far into education, but we really work hard to make sure that they do at least finish high school, and then we try to help them find employment because one of the goals is to get them off of public assistance to be able to support themselves. And our major goal is that when we pull away from services, and I don't think I mentioned this, services can last for 5 years, and we are a voluntary program, but they can last until the child is 5 years of age. Our hope is that our families can stand on their own 2 feet and manage life on their own with, knowing how to cope with the crisis, knowing how to remove their own barriers when they come up against something that's difficult in their lives. And of course, to prevent child abuse and neglect. No one has a child and is thinking this is a child I'm going to, abuse or harm or neglect. Life gets in the way, and some families have had a history where they really don't know how to cope. And so what we hope is that we teach them those coping skills. We teach them how to be successful, and we decrease that incidence. And I think in our program, if you look at, there's been several studies on our programs in New York State. We have a random trial that we had been with since 2000, and the study has looked at children in different stages of their life, and we found a lot of successes. And you want to go on healthyfamiliesnewyork.org and take a look at those studies. I think you'd find it very interesting. And we like to have fun. So here's some pictures of us having fun. This actually is all of the staff at Buffalo Prenatal, and we were at a staff retreat. We try to do that as often as possible because staff deserve that chance to bond and do some team building. Go ahead. This is picnics. We like to have picnics in the summer. We haven't been able to do much this year because of COVID, but we get out as much as possible. We always do an annual picnic at Fantasy Island with our families to, one of the other things we like to do is get families out to experience some different things. And so we like to get people out, and we also like to show them inexpensive things that they can do with their children. Scrapbooking, as Luann said, we have a scrapbooking group. Go ahead. Support groups, we hold support groups once a month. We choose various topics. A lot of times the topics come from the families that we are serving. We ask them what are the types of things they'd like to discuss and learn. And also support groups help to promote bonding with other parents, to form relationships. And also we always hope that families walk away with learning something. Thank you. Halloween, we do that every year. It's always a different theme. This crazy person here in the costume is me. I like to dress up. It's fun. We can't miss a holiday around here. Fall feast, every year we hold what we call a fall feast. It's held around Thanksgiving, and it's really, again, getting our families together and sharing a good meal and thanking them for being in our program and allowing us into their homes, because without them, we wouldn't be doing this type of work. Of course, you can't celebrate a holiday if you don't celebrate Christmas. Santa comes every year. Easter, these are pictures. I think you've seen some of these already. These are pictures from our Easter this year. We do that. Usually we do an egg hunt every year with the Easter Bunny. This year we took the eggs and brought them to the children. We do a Black History Month celebration every year. We do a Hispanic Heritage celebration every year. And we always do a graduation. Those are bi-yearly. So we do 2 a year, one in the spring and one in the fall. We are really hoping that we are going to be able to, it's all set up, it's already booked. We're hoping that we're going to be doing the graduation in November. Hopefully nothing, comes up that'll stop that. And I'd like to thank you very much for allowing me to speak with you and putting up with my slides and my fumbling over that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
Thank you.
Grace.
Okay.
Grace. See if Grace is on.
Oh,
I don't see.
okay. Grace, are you on? Is AD there?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay. All right. Our next groups that are talking happen to be a little unique because they are both in each one of our programs. Grace and AD Dunn are a married couple. That Grace is in our Healthy Families program, and AD is in our Fatherhood program. And they have a lovely daughter named Dora, and they're going to talk to you next about their experience with the program. Go ahead, guys. Are they talking?
Grace, are you there?
Grace, are you there?
Seems like my connection is weird. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Great. Is she doing the phone? Grace, are you on the phone or on the Zoom call? Because the connection is bad.
Zoom.
Yeah. You know, while we're getting them set, I'm going to have Antoine Johnson come up. Antoine is our fatherhood coordinator. He's been with us 3 blissful years. So he's going to talk about our new program. This program, we started in 2017 through the generosity of the Oshai Foundation and Paul Hogan's vision for this program. And in the meantime, Antoine has become very adept at grant writing. So he's continued to receive grants from First Niagara, the Mother Cabrini Foundation. Who else?
Key Bank Partnership.
Key Bank, First Niagara Partnership. So we thank them because this was a need I saw. I felt like we were missing a piece since we weren't addressing the dads in our program because they're just as important as our moms. So I'm going to let Antoine talk.
Yeah, well, good morning. Glad to be here. I always like talking about the program. So on the screen, you'll see Building Capacity for Fatherhood. I like that title because I think that's exactly what Buffalo Prenatal did when they brought in the fatherhood program. And so, but that comes with a lot of different components. So just to introduce myself, again, I am the program manager with Buffalo Prenatal, fatherhood practitioner, which is just a fancy way of saying I work with dads and do research on dads. So I went to UB, and I am a proud husband and father of a baby girl who doesn't let me sleep. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about barriers to father involvement. When we talk about doing fatherhood work, there are a lot of different challenges that our participants go through. And so one of those things being child welfare or systemic barriers. And so that the dads we work with, they deal with, various different issues, whether it's caused by themselves or just a happenstance or just to be situational. So we like to help partner with our participants in navigating these different systems and so forth. Another one of the major barriers that we oftentimes see is the mother as a gatekeeper. And so oftentimes when the mother-father romantic relationship breaks up, then they, usually the mom may not allow the dad access to the child. And so she'll start to exhibit gatekeeping behaviors, whether that be cognitively or behaviorally, meaning, she may talk badly about the father in front of the child, or she just may deny physical access to the child for the father. Another one of the things can be circumstances of non-custodial fathers. So basically fathers who don't live in a house have limited access to their child, typically depending on the quality of the co-parenting relationship. I'll just name one more of these. Lack of finances. Lack of finances is huge when we're talking about father engagement, because more often than not that it's healthy, men associate their ability to parent with how much money they have. And, we try to demystify that way of thinking, because at the end of the day, they can still be engaged and active and helping raise a healthy child and not have $1 million in the bank. I'm exaggerating, but this slide right here, this infographic that you're seeing now, we show this quite often because it really represents why we exist as a program. And, when we start looking at the disparities with the number of children that are facing poverty, children that live without their biological father are 4 times likely to end up in poverty, twice greater risk for infant mortality, more likely to be involved in crime and be victims of various different things, less likely to graduate from high school. There are just a myriad of different issues that children face when they don't have an involved father or father figure in their lives. In America, actually, we are the #1 in fatherless families. So that's not something to brag about, but it's something to be addressed. Additionally, according to the infographic, at least 19.7 million children in America, that's 1 out of every 4, live in a house without their biological father. And that's not to necessarily say that there isn't a father figure, an uncle or some kind, but their biological father is not around. And then, according to the Erie County, New York Community Health Assessment, it showed that there are at least 63% of the households in this region, the Western New York region, have children who are being raised by a single parent, a single parent household, and predominantly it's the mom, right? Oh, shoot.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
You got it.
Yep.
All right. The next, I want to talk about the biology of fatherhood and the benefits of the involvement in maternal and infant health programs. And so talking about the biology of fatherhood, it is that both men and women go through physical changes as they're transitioning into parenthood, particularly those who are first-time parents. It's really evident and easy to see the different changes that women go through, whether hormonally and physically. It's apparent, right? But you don't really hear about the changes that fathers go through when they're transitioning into fatherhood. And so studies suggest that fathers who are transitioning into fatherhood, particularly those who, and this is more likely for those who are residential, they have a decrease in their testosterone, where that's one of the things that really gets men going. They're jumping all over the place. It's one of the things that helps us to go out looking for a mate and all these other things, right, in terms of biology. But what happens is transitioning into fatherhood, the body is telling the man, get ready for this child. It's helping him to become more nurturing, less, looking around at other women and different things like that. It's wild what the body is saying or signaling to this man as he's approaching fatherhood. But then also the brain structure changes. And so things like dopamine and other, hormones, they start to kick in, and it's telling the dad, okay, we need to enact some of these nurturing principles. And so even apart from having any necessary skills, that we teach here within the father program, the body is preparing that dad for fatherhood. So that in and of itself is amazing. One of our second points is that fathers who are involved, particularly during the infant stages, they contribute to the social, emotional, and cognitive development of infants. And, I think one of the things that I experienced, even coming here, is that I didn't really hear a lot about, how dads could contribute to infants' health and well-being. But there are a myriad of different studies and research that prove that when fathers are involved, and particularly during those early years, they really promote the health and well-being of infants in different ways. The third point is that in 2010, the Commission on the Paternal Involvement in Pregnancy Outcomes strongly recommended the full inclusion of fathers in prenatal care to reduce and eliminate racial and ethnic disparities in perinatal health outcomes in the U.S. And so our fourth point, that takes us to our fourth point, to say that father involvement during pregnancy has been associated with positive maternal behaviors, reduced risk of preterm birth or labor, and reduced risk of low birth infants. And so being here at Buffalo Prenatal, it all makes sense. And I think one of the things that we're doing as an agency is helping to really bridge that together, showing how both the moms and the dads contribute to healthy birth outcomes and healthy babies and families.
Next slide.
This is my last slide, and I'm usually always short, so right here, this shows all of the services and programs that we offer. So all of our programs and services are, at the end of the day, geared to promoting healthy father-child engagement and healthy families, period. Our Caring Dads program, so the Financial Peace program, that is a 9-week program that we teach. We're actually in our second cohort now that's being facilitated or coordinated by our colleague, Michael McKnight. Last cohort the group saved over $5,000. They paid off a significant amount of debt and are really just on their way to building wealth. And it's incredible because the families who, you know, never had any education about the financial well-being and things of that nature. And so we were just really happy to be able to promote families in that way or encourage them. One of the things that I do personally outside of those groups is provide financial coaching on a one-on-one basis. This third thing that we do is we provide skills-based parenting education, and that's predominantly done through our Nurturing Fathers program, which is a 13-week evidence-based program where we teach fathers how to be positively engaged with both their child and their co-parent. And so we have metrics that include parental alliance. So that's the mom and the dad working together. We have metrics that include financial provision. So that's seeing how well our program helps to contribute to fathers being more involved in providing financial support, as well as direct care and positive engagement. Our fourth point talks about our domestic violence program and fatherhood intervention, excuse me. And so that's where our Caring Dads program comes in. And that's a 17-week evidence-based program that originated in Toronto, but it's a worldwide program where it's known around the world to reduce incidences of child abuse and neglect, as well as the exposure of violence for children with their moms and dads. And so the number one priority of the Caring Dads program is the safety and well-being of children and women. And our fourth point is we have a Mentoring Fathers program. And so the Mentoring Fathers program is all about providing support in forms of mentoring, coaching, and resource navigation for young adult fathers between the ages of 18 to 24. And we just recently expanded it to 26 now, but we really just saw a gap in that young adult fathers, particularly Black and Latino fathers, are often marginalized and come from under-resourced communities. And so we just saw a need to come in and provide specific services because they face unique challenges that are different than our 40-year-old fathers, which is predominantly the age where our guys are coming in. But these young adult fathers have very different and unique needs. And in addition to that, we've also partnered with community colleges where we help students, Black and Latino students who are involved in programs to help increase their persistence and retention into higher education programs, because we realize that these guys will one day become fathers themselves. And so not only are we able to help them in terms of promoting them in education, but providing information that will help them later on in life. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Antoine. We're going to try to get Grace and AD back, but before I do that, I know some of our board members are on Zoom or maybe on the phone. I know Dr. Wen, Shana DiCamello, Debbie Licata, Brianna Yeager, Brooke Smith. And if there's anyone else on the phone that I missed, thank you for your support all year long, and especially for today. All right, so I think we're going to try to get Grace and AD on. Grace and AD, can you hear me?
Yes, Luann, I can hear you. Can you hear us better now?
Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay. So as I mentioned, Grace and AD are unique in the fact that they are both participants in two of our programs. Grace is in our Healthy Families program, and AD is in our Fatherhood program. They have a lovely daughter named Aura, and they're going to share a little bit about their experience with our programs. Go ahead, guys.
Okay. Thank you, Luann, for having us on all the time. But yes, so I'm part of the Healthy Visiting Families, and it's been an awesome program for us. So we only have one child, and she is turning 20 months soon. They've been with me every step of the way, like very early on in my pregnancy. As most people know, the maternal mortality rate is very high in African American women, and that's based on like our stress levels. A lot of us are passing not only during pregnancy but also after, due to like heart conditions and stuff. And a lot of it is just confusion, not knowing where you're gonna have your baby. Are you gonna have enough resources? Is there gonna be childcare and everything? So Healthy Families was very helpful because they came into our household. My worker gives me a ton of resources, even things that I didn't know I needed. She makes sure, like, you know, do you have a crib? Where's the baby gonna sleep? You know, just making sure that my mental health was okay during my pregnancy and definitely even after. She was also like my doula. Like, she stuck around. I let her know as soon as the baby was born, and she jumped right on board as well. So yeah, I was able to just have so many resources, not only to hospitals, but if I ever needed it, to you know, mental health doctors as well, because our hormones are just up and down, are just wacky during you know, during pregnancy and everything, and we need that extra help. And then they also make sure that, you know, they keep families together, whether you're co-parenting or whatever, but it needs to be healthy. So she didn't only worry about me and the baby, she also included my husband. I made sure he was okay and he got all the resources, and she introduced him and persuaded him to join the Nurturing Fathers program, which I'm gonna let him speak about.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning. Yeah, my name's AD. I got into the Nurturing Fathers program through the benefits of my wife dealing with the Buffalo Perinatal group, and it was such a great opportunity for me because at first I was a little apprehensive of it because I felt like there wasn't any father programs, and I would kind of be like the only father in the involved because, you know, I'm married and everything. But I've seen that, you know, joining the Nurturing Fathers program has been very beneficial for me. I enjoyed going through the 13 weeks, just helping me, you know, build so much confidence in myself as a father, helping me deal with the some personal things that, you know, I may have never thought about, but I was feeling, but never could like identify those things, and to see that it was okay because a lot of other men go through it. Also just, you know, skills, like better parenting skills. You know, my baby was what? She was like 6 months when I started. Like, yeah, 6, 7 months. I don't know. She just turned a year, right? Yeah, she was like a little over like 9, 10 months. Like, and for me to go through the program, and now she's at, you know, 20 weeks, or 20 months old now. Like, to see that I gained so much parenting skills within that short amount of time, you know, just helped me, you know, prepare for the years to come, because the other fathers had children my age, you know, up to, you know, 20 something years old. So to just learn from them and then just grow as a father, I was really inspired. And now I get the opportunity to actually work with the Nurturing Fathers and help co-facilitate. So in the next group that's coming up on the 21st, I'll be co-facilitating and helping out the next cohort.
And just one last thing, I always forget to mention, like pre-COVID, another thing that that, you know, the Buffalo Prenatal did was bring the mothers together, which I think was always very important and something that we need. You know, a lot of people don't think they need friends, but friends make the world go around. And having other mothers with similar stories just come together and do scrapbooking and stuff. It just gives you a sense of I don't know. It's just awesome. Like, just to have my scrapbook memories up on my wall or on my, you know, in my baby's nursery or stuff like that. And when you look at it, you remember that you were with other awesome women as well. You know, so like Christmas, Halloween, she has a lot of pictures with the what are they called, mascots and stuff that you guys provide. So yeah, that's great too. And the Nurturing Fathers program was great for me because it gave him other men to talk with and vent to about how you know, annoying mothers can be. But yeah. All right. Thank you guys for having us though.
Hey, Grace and AD, thank you as always. And, you know, I think they touched on, you know, just some specialties, and they're very special to us. You know, you heard Grace talk, and she speaks very eloquently, and she actually accompanied me. We went to Albany, and she spoke to the Maternal Mortality Task Force for New York State, did a wonderful job. And AD, you know, is going to be joining our group, which is another thing I should mention, that probably 5% of our employees are former program participants. And I think that also speaks to the value of the program. So thanks, Grace and AD.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have Maribel Cancel. Maribel is actually stepping in for her boss, Marixa Sanchez, who's the program manager. Maribel is one of the supervisors, and she's going to speak about the Department of Health. It's the Mitch program. It's our community health worker program. So she's going to talk about that, and we actually have one of her participants here who you're going to hear from too. Hey, Maribel. She has to stand.
Yeah, I gotta stand. I don't do well sitting down. I'm more moving my hands around. My name is Maribel Cancel. One of the supervisors in the Mitch program, which is the community health worker program. What we do is we do more extensive case management, which is we go into the home. We can see a client from 1 time to 13 times in 1 month. I'm one of the assessment workers. I'm the first person that sees the client. We cater to preconceptual women, women that have not had kids yet, that want kids. We help them prepare. We make sure that they get their physical, that they're eating right, that they take folic acid, to make sure that they have a healthy baby. Because I think every woman in Erie County deserves to have a healthy baby. We cater to pregnant women. We have women in their first, second, and third trimester. We never turn any woman down if she doesn't qualify for our program, for home visiting program. We always refer them out. We always make sure that they get some kind of support and some kind of help. Our pregnant women, most of our women's don't have prenatal care, don't have WIC. So we provide them with the resources. We hold their hand. A lot of women are scared to go to the doctor because of previous experiences. So we're there to guide them and support them. Some of our women, we are the only people in their lives. We are their support system. A lot of them don't have family here. A lot of them, their family abandoned them because they got pregnant and that wasn't the plan for them. We're here. This program is an excellent program. I think we are the best program there is in Erie County, if I can say that, because the difference that we make in our communities is outstanding. The outcomes that we do, most of our women all have trauma, whether it's from stress, whether it's from life itself, whether it's from communities that they live in, the media, and we're here for them. When I do my assessment, I'm the first person they see. They don't have to trust me. They already don't trust the system, period. They think I'm there to take their kid away. I try to explain to them and make them feel comfortable that we're here for you. We're not here against you. So when I get a client into the program, my assessments take about 1 to 2 hours, because I gotta really make sure that this client is comfortable when I leave that house, that she's not gonna call and say, no, I don't want the program. I talk to them like I will talk to my kids, any member of my family. I wanna make sure that every single woman that we encounter has prenatal care, has WIC, has insurance, has DSS, has the ability to live a good life, because everyone deserves to live a good life. We have a lot of women that are postpartum. You know, postpartum depression is out there. Depression is out there, whether it's they had it before they got pregnant, while they were pregnant, or after they got pregnant. The amount of women that we get that have postpartum depression, even if it's just regular stress or anxiety or trauma from life itself, is tremendous. Our numbers are very, very high. We also cater to interconception women, which is women of high risk, women that have miscarriages, women that can't carry babies, women for some reason got diabetes or have some kind of disease that prevents them from having babies. We cater to parenting women, which is women that have children under the age of 5. We want to make sure that all women are healthy and that their children are healthy and that they get the quality of life that they deserve. We make sure that all the kids are tested. Lead is very high in our communities right now. And it's terrible that our numbers are so sky high. It affects the baby's brain. But then the housing that we have in the city of Buffalo, most of them were built such a long time ago that now the lead is built up and it gets into these children's system. When I do my assessment, I check the whole entire house. I go from the living room to the windows, to the doorknobs, to what's in your fridge. You got running water, you got gas, because everyone deserves a good environment to live in. I get very emotional because I went through it. When we first came to Buffalo, we were homeless. We didn't have anything. The struggle that my mom went through not knowing English was hard. Asking for food was hard. Most of our clients are like that. They hide from us. They don't want to be seen because they're scared that they're going to take their kid away when it's born. CPS is out there. That's real. And most of the clients, if they have a language barrier, or even if they speak English, they don't know how to advocate for themselves. That's where we come in. We are an excellent program. And young women all over Erie County should take advantage of it. We go door to door. We knock on each door looking for pregnant women, looking for women that don't have services. Every woman deserves an opportunity in life. And we're here to provide that for them. We're just one piece of the puzzle. We need everyone to come together and help us. If we all stick together, we can do this. We can make better communities because we need to service these women. And they're hiding because they're scared. They don't know what's out there until we come into their lives. We have lots of success stories of women that came into our program with no prenatal, having healthy babies. They're thinking, what am I going to do when I have this baby? Where's the baby going to go? Is my mom going to let me back in the house? These women are traumatized. We educate them. We support them as much as we could. We have lots of homeless women that are pregnant, living in the street, couch surfing, that haven't eaten for days. We bring them here. We feed them. We put them in shelters. We don't want any woman in Erie County in danger. We want to support them, help them, guide them. The housing in the city of Buffalo is awful. I just had one client that moved into a house, and she has mold in her kitchen with an 8-month baby and pregnant. It shouldn't be happening. I mean, there's so much resources in Erie County. If we all stick together, we can do this. I think we can do this. We also last year we furnished 7 young ladies houses. Thanks to our CEO, Luann Brown, who has a heart of gold, always donating to us from her friends, from the board members, to look at these women's faces and see what we've done in their lives, I think is amazing. They cry, They hug us. Well, not now due to the COVID, but that's what we're here for. And I just think we do such great work. CHWs, home visiting program. We have great workers. We just need everyone to get together. We're one piece of the puzzle. If everyone gets together, we can do this. We can make a difference in these women's lives. Up here on the screen is donations that Luann gave. One of Luann's friends donated. We furnished this young lady's house. She didn't have anything in her house. All they have is either a bed or a bunch of blankets that they sleep on. That's it. That's all they have. And we were able to provide a table for this lady.
Next slide, please.
Here is the Christmas giveaway, which Luann gets the board to help us giving gifts to our clients. Our clients can't afford gifts. They barely can make it. Most of them are on DSS. All they can do is pay their rent. These are two of our clients that got gifts. We had over 25 clients that got gifts, as well as the home visiting program. This is the difference we make. Seeing the smile on children, that's the difference we make. This is our breastfeeding support group, one of them. We also have an empowerment group, which I created because we have a lot of women that have postpartum depression and that are depressed. And they're scared to go to counseling and speak up because they're scared that the counselor's gonna call CPS. And I don't think that's fair. Women need to talk. They need to let it out. So we created the empowerment group so we can give them an opportunity to talk and to feel comfortable that we're here for them, that they can do this, that they're not the only person going through this. Every year, Maritza finds beds somewhere, money somewhere to provide beds for our clients. A lot of our clients are sleeping on the floor on a bunch of blankets. No mother pregnant or not pregnant or child should be sleeping on the floor. They should have a safe bed to sleep on. We provide them with the bed, the bed bud sheet cover, the blankets, pillows, because we care for all these clients that come into our program. They're not just clients, they're human beings. And I think that they all deserve the best, just like we deserve the best. Last year, a group of bus day students volunteered to paint 4 of our clients' houses because these houses were terrible conditions. These students, we took them to their houses and they painted the clients' houses so it could be a little livable. Housing is a big issue for all our clients. And it's sad that they have to take the first house that they see because they're scared that they might take their baby away. Our program, it's the greatest program ever. Not because I'm saying it, because the clients say it. The stories that we get are amazing. If you want a copy of the stories, we can provide them for you. But we do make a difference. BPPN does make a difference in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Maribel. I wanted to touch on what Maribel was talking about, the beds. We also were very lucky this year to get from the Bedding Industries of America and Joe Messina, we need to thank him, that they donated mattresses to our clients. I mean, it sounds so silly, but That's what we spend a lot of our money on, is mattresses and box springs. When you walk into an apartment and you see a mom laying in a blanket and there's nothing for her, there's no reason someone should not have a bed to sleep in. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. Thank you, Maribel. And now we have, from this wonderful program that Maribel's talking about, this is Diana Torres. Diana is one of the program participants in the Mitch, the Community Health Worker Program. She's also a new board member on the board. We always have two program participants on our board because they give us a different insight in what's going on. So Diana's going to talk about a little about her experience in our program. So why don't you talk about how you found us and what your experience with us was?
Thank you for having me again, guys.
No problem,
It's
Diane.
always a pleasure. So last year I had 2 boys and it was just me and my husband, 1 income. I was in the method of breastfeeding or not, and that's how I came about the program, the whole breastfeeding. My cousin brought me in for the breastfeeding group that we had up earlier. I was actually
In the picture.
I was actually in the picture. That was my first ever group, so it was nice to see that picture. My baby just turned 1. She is now still breastfeeding, 12 months strong. Literally last week she turned 1. But the group has been amazing to us. I mean us because my family. It's not just me and the baby. It literally takes care of my husband, my kids, make sure that we get to our appointments. From WIC appointments, when I was pregnant, I was not on WIC. I didn't know that I was okay to have WIC with my youngest being 5 years old. I didn't know that. When I came to the program, yes, you can. So that was a huge thing. And for being food at home, diapers was a huge thing. You know, having a 4-year-old almost about to be 5 and realizing like you're pregnant again, you know, which we weren't expecting it, but it wasn't something that we were planning either. It was kind of like, if it happens, it happens. And it did happen and we were blessed, you know, but we were like, okay, now we got to get diaper, we got to get clothes, we got to move from the house that we were in from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom because we had to accommodate. So my caseworker, Luz, was amazing in every step of the way. And obviously her teams were as well. Now being pregnant last year, I was also suffering from the depression and I call it my blue days. So there's also a program, SMC. Am I saying it right?
Survivor's Mom Companion.
Yes, so that was like a huge group for me. Sherelle came to the house and gave me the 10 modules and I'm still taking my steps. And obviously now she linked me into the counseling. So that's something that I'm still working on. And like I said, every step of the way they're there. Whether it's doctor's appointment to food if I need at home, diapers, wifeys, which you think, you know, something so simple, they're there, 1 phone call away. So I appreciate you guys.
And let me just expand a little on so Diane was part of the empowerment group. And as Maribel mentioned, we did that because we recognize we screen all our moms for depression, domestic violence and substance abuse. And we saw high numbers in our programs. So they're very leery about going to a normal counseling center. And so what we did is we did partner with Horizon Health, so we have a mental health counselor that comes here and meets with the moms. And, you know, then they get comfortable where then they can go into individual counseling. The other program she mentioned was the Survivor Moms program. And that is a program that was started by Dr. Mickey Sperlich, who is a midwife, is on faculty at UB and the University of Michigan, and it's the first perinatal program for trauma. And the program, so we partnered with her. She was looking for a community organization to do this with, and she trained 8 of our staff to be tutors. And the modules that Diana's talking about, you know, the moms read them or can listen to them, and then the tutors go in and kind of debrief with them. And it's very impactful because the majority of our clients have trauma.
Because the techniques, like I still work with the techniques and it still helps me through my blue days, how I call them.
Right.
So, and it's before pregnant, like me, I came while I was pregnant. So it gives you the modules before pregnant. And then once you do have the baby, it gives you the modules for after.
Postpartum.
Right. So it's great. And you see the difference, you know, at least I can see the difference from when I was pregnant to now, how the techniques have helped me.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and the empowerment, I'm sorry I didn't talk about so much, but it's awesome. Like you have all these girls around, and some of the pictures, like you see us pregnant, but when we came a little bit before COVID, we were all having our kids, you know, introducing each other with our kids and how they grown. So I can't wait to go back to it and see, like, now they're like a year. So it's like, you're ready to see toddlers running around.
Right.
There you go.
There
See?
you go. Yeah.
So some of us already had our kids.
Right.
I know 3 of us were pregnant at the same time. And for Halloween party, we had babies. So now we're going to have
You're going to see them. You'll see the toddlers now.
running around.
Yeah. And, you know, postpartum depression impacts 30 to 40% of women. So it's a huge issue. There's still a stigma with it. Survivor Mom program is a great adjunct to that. We're hoping to continue that program. I'll be looking for funding. So it's because we saw impact, statistically significant results with decrease in depression symptoms, anger. So we've shown it works. We need to expand it because it's a great need with all women, but especially with our clients. So Diane, you want to say anything else?
Thank you for having me. And till next time, I guess.
You're going to be like on a circuit, okay? All right. Thanks, Diana. Okay. Next, we have a good friend of Buffalo Prenatal Perinatal Network. Mary Kay Campos is the Program Director of Health Initiatives at United Way and has worked with Buffalo Prenatal for many years. Mary Kay and I probably talk weekly, so I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to tell you a little bit about how we partner.
I'm going to be very brief because I know we're over time. And just a little background, United Way has a health platform, and we have prioritized serving babies and children and making sure that they are healthy from the beginning. And most of our investments at United Way are directed toward families with children from birth to 8. So the reason why we do that is because we all have limited resources, and we know the earlier we invest, the better the outcomes, the more return on investments. And so that's why we rely on Buffalo Prenatal, because they're working with families who are under-resourced in our community and supporting them, helping to relieve the stress that they're under because they don't have the resources, helping them to be better able to nurture their children, to prepare them for school, for a career, and then to contribute back to the community. So I could go on for a long time about how we partner. I'm just gonna give you some of the highlights. Luann is one of the leaders of the Healthy Mom, Healthy Baby Coalition. It's about 50 organizations that come together. Some of them are on the call today. And we're looking at the status of children and their health in our community. And we are coming up with solutions that are multi-sector. So there's multiple agency solutions. We've been together for about 10 years. And many of Luann's staff have been partnering since day one of that coalition. We partner on breastfeeding initiatives and the community baby shower, the product that comes in, much of it goes to Buffalo Prenatal to get out into the community to the highest need families. And most recently, Buffalo Prenatal has been leading the transportation navigation services at Go Buffalo Mom. That's a new program that started about 1.5 years ago. It is a program that is helping moms access prenatal care by reducing barriers for transportation. And also, since we started the program, we've realized we have a lot of moms who have housing issues. And we are working with Belmont to help moms save money for better housing and also for transportation. That's a program we partner with Buffalo Prenatal because it was developed using human-centered design. The people who benefit from the program helped design the program. So they were right there at the table with us. And it's, we continue to do that. We continue to talk to the clients because we want to make sure it's meeting their needs. Buffalo Prenatal is critical to our funding portfolio. We fund nearly $50,000 in the community health worker program. Very proud of that. This is one of the few programs that's going door to door to find the highest risk families. And the other thing that we are really proud of with that program is that people who serve moms and families and dads look like the people they're serving. And so that's really important. And I'll just end with, what better mission can you have than to give a healthy start to the next generation? So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Appreciate it. All right, and we have actually a videotape message. Kara Metelliano is also a strong partner and has been for many years. She's the Senior Director for Policy and Strategic Partnerships at the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo. And she recorded a video for us of how she works with us. So we're gonna listen to Kara.
totally invaluable to that work that you're doing together. The other thing I would say is that, we've all been through a lot to the COVID-19 pandemic, and you get a much finer sense of how vulnerable we are as a community. We are as vulnerable as our most vulnerable residents, the most vulnerable families. And if we're going to succeed as a community, we've got to make sure that folks who are really vulnerable are enabled to be successful, if they are taken care of, that their needs are being met, that they can eventually take charge of their lives and become a part of the community that is really successful. So I'm just so grateful for everything that you've done. So grateful for our partnership, and I'm thankful that you're here with us today.
Thank you, Kara. Okay, so I hope that what you really showed you the importance of this agency, and not that I want to end on a downer note, but I also need to make you aware of something. And, we planned this event several months ago, and now we now find out that it could have been more timely. Yesterday, we actually received a letter from OCFS, who funds the Healthy Families Program, which is our largest program. And the gist of the letter said that there's no permanent reduction in support, but we were notified that they're holding back a portion of the claim from April through June, as they're contending with a cash crunch caused by significant drop in revenue because of the pandemic, that they need the federal government to provide funding to cover this revenue loss. So that was kind of a blow yesterday that we received, but I do need to thank the program managers and the finance staff, not only from OCFS and the New York State Department of Health and Mitch program, because some of them are on this call, because I know they've been advocating for these programs. We know this goes above them, but this could be devastating to this agency. It's a potential withhold for this agency of about $475,000, which for services we've already provided. We're also concerned because we're due for a payment in September for the current quarter services, which right now is estimated at $250,000. Plus, there's also an impending advance, which we normally receive about 40% of our total yearly contract, and that exceeds over $500,000. We utilize that advance money to fund our expenses at the beginning of the contract year and avoid, unnecessary financial exposure. As I said, that would be devastating for this agency. It'd be a harm to the 1,000 families we serve every year, as well as the 55 employees at this agency, 30 of whom are in Healthy Families, which is the program right now that's being impacted. You've seen the impacts we have in the reduction of low birth weight infants, how we maintain the health of moms and babies because of our excellent rates with prenatal care, immunization rates, postpartum visits, well baby visits. We're certainly going to be pursuing other funding sources, including local and national foundations, as well as city and county resources. We're forestalling any payments that we don't necessarily need to make, but, there's certain things we have to pay. Health insurance, workers' comp. We have served the underserved women and children in this east and west side of Buffalo for over 30 years. And like many other nonprofits in this area, we stepped up when COVID-19 hit this area. Even while working remotely, our staff was delivering vital food and baby supplies to clients. We opened a pantry at this agency so we could do that. As always, nonprofits serve a major safety net role when crisis hits, and we are the ones that step in to help our most vulnerable citizens. We cannot allow these services to lapse, so we're asking you to help us weather this crisis. Please. You just heard the impact we have in this city, so we cannot not allow us to continue. We recently had our fundraiser, our virtual fundraiser that we have every year. It's our biggest fundraiser, and I always end my speech with a quote, and I think it's more telling today, from FDR, who said, "The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little." So please think of us. I appreciate you joining us today, but it's even more imperative than ever that you support us. Funders, legislators, board members, anybody listening, because this agency is important to this city. Thank you. I'm gonna cry.